Hey, this is HQ again. Our subject today is so I am for recreational use only. I wonder why that is. I kept trying to figure out why do people just think of us women as someone to hook up with and not to have a relationship with. What was wrong with that picture? And the only thing I could come up with is because we are so entrenched in this hookup culture where it's okay to hook up, us using our sexuality as a thing, as a bartering tool, is our issue, is our problem. Men think of women as easy because they get to hook up with them, sleep with them, don't have any kind of commitment. It's common to think that way. Is it a complex issue? Yes, it is. With a bunch of nuances that are problematic and inaccurate, right? Why do people think hookup culture exists? Men are perceived as having more power and initiating and controlling sexual encounters, leading to people thinking women are easy or easy to get. And that's all you have to do is pull out money and it would be easy to get her. We have a phone call
from
Denzel Washington.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
from Genzel.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you, HQ?
Fine, thank you. What do you have on this subject? We are, why am I for recreational use only?
Okay. So, first and foremost, if a woman provides herself and avails herself for recreational use, isn't that upon a woman's control? Isn't that upon a woman's presentation?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So if a woman's reckless with herself, if a woman's promiscuous, if she's say 3 for 3, 5 for 5, or if she's handling herself and presenting herself in a reckless manner, then she's presenting herself as recreational use.
But what if she doesn't? Men have perceived, I've heard men say, all women are prostitutes. Why are
Who
women?
said?
I'm saying we've heard that trope. Well, women prostitute themselves on one way or another. Why do we have that perception as being loose and promiscuous and therefore not treated as seriously as a sexual relationship should be treated?
Well, part of that's, like I said, presentation. If you are giving the energy of, oh, I'm demanding this, and then you let me back up. Let me take a step back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the majority of these women today that's presenting themselves as pure transactional relationships, right?
Right.
So you gonna pay for this, you gonna take me here, take me there, oh, you gonna get some of this WAP. And naturally, I say my message is you are what you attract. So in the norm, you are going to if you're gonna go with like-minded individuals, say if you're an individual that you want a woman that's not of that caliber.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna do everything you can to stay away from that. But to your question, to your topic,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these women are advertising and selling themselves as such. Look how they're looking. All the face paint and makeup, all the weaves, wigs and lashes, and all that stuff that ties into, the IG model persona.
So are we saying, so you're saying because she wears makeup provocatively, or she wears clothes provocatively.
The whole,
She would
the
be put into that.
whole, the appearance, the presentation, the attitude, the
Yeah,
lifestyle.
but I wear makeup and I wear
No, 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 no.
provocative clothing.
Okay, but
Mhm.
guess what? Do you solicit yourself to a man in a seductive way?
No, but that's a small portion of women.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh
Tra-
no! Come on
Women
now!
that come across as trashy. You
Oh
mean?
come on! Come on! Come on! We know that's not true, HQ.
Mm.
Come on now.
So you're saying there's a bigger proportion that present themselves as trashy.
Well, like we discussed the other day, we'd have more wives if it wasn't the case, and we know that's just not. So
Wait a minute. I had to push back on that. We have to push back on that because women. You just said because of the way a woman may dress or this, that, and the third means she comes across as throwing her sexuality or her favors in you all's face. But does
women
that mean
today, majority of women today wear little to no clothes. I mean, it's nothing secret to the eye. If it's nothing sacred no more, so you could see anything, any and everything you want to know about the average woman, you could see on their social media. You
but
could
that's not
see.
that doesn't mean she's a slower.
It doesn't matter, but she's given the impression, and the perception is reality. So if you given the impression that if every other picture on your social media, I could see your nipples, I could see your paw print, that's what you only appearing to my man downstairs. So
So you're only so if she does
that's not giving wholesomeness. That's not giving wholesomeness.
but that doesn't necessarily mean
It implies. It's the implication given. 90% of communication is nonverbal, HQ. You know this. You've heard this time and time again in your lifetime.
True.
You know
what about the regular women? What about regular women when you have that generalized idea that even if she doesn't dress like that, even if she's women, we have to back up because men in spaces call women who have children slowers.
Okay.
So why would they be considered that? And they're just normal, everyday, average women going to work, making things happen for the kid. That doesn't mean they're slower because they have a child. So why do we? But see, most men associate a woman who's had a child out of marriage as a slower. So I'm talking about women who normal, everyday women get called names. Get called slower. Get called who? I'm saying slower for
okay. So HQ, can we do one thing?
What?
Let's not throw curveballs and monkey wrenches in the conversation, okay? Because you twisting up the conversation a bit. So we talking about
you make the distinction.
Oh well, women in general, whether they're childless or not, whether they're let's keep it here, right? So childless women or non-childless women, because you got wholesome women full circle. Because life happens, as we all well know.
But we have an ongoing discussion that says we can't find wives because all of the women, the wives, are standing next to the whores. The wives are. So wait a minute. So this is the environment that you find yourself in. So if you find yourself in that environment, you all have to wade through. Not every person that you meet, not every female that you meet that wears makeup, maybe have a tight skirt or high heels, is a slower. But yet we're all labeled that way.
But see, you have to present yourself as such. I mean, this is it's.
But what if I like to wear horse clothes?
Okay, so it's a reason why us as melanated folks, we having this conversation and no other race of people are having these conversations because we know what time it is. But because so
wait a minute, hold on. You said we know what time it is. What do you mean you know what time it is? What does that mean?
All right, let me elaborate. Stay with me. All right, so if I say, okay, so I don't got no tattoos or I don't got, a whole bunch of expensive jewelry or stuff like that. But let's just say that I like to look that way and come off that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's giving dope boy persona, or I'm a drug dealer persona, so to speak, right?
Mm-mm.
I can't be mad at the reactions that I get
That's
when I'm
true.
presenting myself in a certain way and society's perceiving me. I'm like, oh man, I could be a whole PhD. I could be a family member of
Yeah,
a
but
congressional member or something like
women
that.
don't write men off and say you're all Pookies and Ray Rays
But
because
see,
you
that's the problem. That's the problem, because we need healthy separation, and women can't, in a lot of women, they can't see past what appeals to what appeals to them. They can't see past that.
Wait a
So
minute.
a lot of
Why
them,
is it that we have a perception that we have to look past what appeals to us, but men don't have to look past what appeals to them, and they get to chase what appeals to them, but we somehow get demonized because we like to chase or we want what we want. Why is it that we can't? What?
Are you creating these topics in your head, or are you twist? Because this is like a lot of this stuff, like you manufacturing a lot of these topics, to be real with you.
Oh, I'm not. What do you mean?
Who are you hearing this from, HQ?
We hear this a lot. There's a lot of people that believe everywhere. You always hear that women are over here. God. Women only want money. Women only want my money. Women only chase me for my wallet. Women they don't want anything except somebody to take care of them. And then men say, "Oh,
okay." But to your point, like women why men think women, the majority of those women are for recreational use. I mean, it all boils down to presentation. I mean, it all boils down to what are you availing yourself to and as, like,
So you don't think it has something to do with the fact that men have little respect for women or a lower amount of respect for women because we become across as independent, not needing a husband or not wanting a husband, and therefore we're able to have agency over our body, so men get upset about that. And since we use our body when we want to,
respect is earned. Respect, you have to earn respect. I can't treat a woman a sexy red. I can't treat her like like Denzel's wife. I can't do that. I can't and I won't. So knowing that, she would have my respect, being an honorable wife, because that's what an honorable woman does. An honorable woman, a woman.
What is an honorable woman?
Okay, let me explain. A woman that requires that upholds herself. She upholds herself and she keeps herself in an upstanding manner, living, keeping herself as a woman and requiring a man to give her the highest honor of making her a wife, allowing a man to give her that highest honor, and it's no greater respect a woman can have for herself than requiring a man to give her and put the highest honor.
Yeah, but we want to hear, what do you think is an honorable woman? What's an honorable woman?
A woman that keeps herself.
Keeps herself what?
A woman that keeps herself guarded and protected from like a lot of these oddities that are out here. And what do I mean by oddities? Well, staying away from the negative, such as the the promiscuous looking bunch out there. If you're not that, then you're gonna stay away as far as that from possible.
You're fading out. You're fading out, hon. You're fading out.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, now we hear. So okay. You say keep your. Okay, see, I'm trying to nail down. What do you all mean by an honorable woman? Because modern women, we don't wear dresses all the way down to our ankles, and we don't not go to clubs, and we don't not go on single trips, and we do not hang out with the girls at the club. Modern women don't do that. But why are modern women considered somehow out of control or not worthy of respect?
See, I think the definition being twisted up a bit when you say modern women, and you know, modern women and the average
You
women today. That I think we having a conflict right about now.
right.
Okay, so you got the modern women.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's do it like this: the
Okay.
modern women
Right.
and the honorable women. Okay,
So
the
modern women are not honor women. There's a difference?
No. Listen.
Okay.
So so we're gonna set the two apart: modern women, honorable women. Honorable women are not out here living promiscuous. Honorable women are not out here with the rotation of guys. Honorable women, they're getting with the guy that they see, and they're vetting, they're deeming as a suitable husband, a suitable leader.
So
And
what if she
someone that
doesn't
they
want to
get
get married?
no.
Okay.
No.
Keep going. Keep going.
Let
Keep
me
going.
finish,
I'm
please,
sorry.
please. Honorable. No. Marriage is for every woman because that's y'all purpose to be a helpmate to a man. First and foremost. No.
I back up.
No.
Finish with the description. Finish with the descriptions.
We
Tell me
right where we need to be.
Okay.
So honorable women, like I said before, honorable women gonna require a man to give her the highest honor, a man that she could deal with, man she can require to marry her prior to in cohabitating with him or making children with them. That's one. That's an honorable woman. A modern woman is gonna live any type of way, move any type of way she wants to, any way she sees fit. So when we got the majority of our women, 60+% of our women that's single moms and won't see a husband, that's the majority of our women. That's the majority of our women, and that are not presentable and not deemed worthy to be wives.
See
So
how you see where you put all those women? See where
we need separation.
You put the bulk of us. You put the bulk of us in the category of not marriageable because
it's not marriageable because you're not honorable. You can't fall under a man's lead. A man can't protect.
What if we don't want to get married?
Can't protect nor lead what he can't control.
What if we don't want to get married?
It's no control
or
order for women of modern.
But why? What if I don't want to get married? What if I don't want to get married?
That's your choice.
So why wouldn't I still be an honorable woman if I didn't want to get married?
Because that's your purpose. That's why you were made.
Who said that was our purpose? Who said that was our purpose?
That's your purpose. That's your existence to be a helpmate to a man.
See, I don't prescribe to that. That's the whole point. The point is,
us
modern women don't prescribe to the fact that that's our purpose. Some women don't married. Yes.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily say every woman on this planet that's her purpose is to get married. Not every woman wants to get married. Not every woman does.
No, they don't want to get married. But you twisting up about what I'm saying.
What?
As a woman, as a female, that's your purpose as a female to repopulate the society. All right, but you can't do that without us. So, be that as it may, as a woman, your job is to be a helpmate to a man.
Yeah, but we're having babies without you. We are having babies without being under the covering of a man.
That's the problem. Exactly.
What problem? Wait a minute, hold on. What problem?
That's the problem.
Whoa, what problem? You just said that it was our job to populate and do X, Y, and Z. But we can do that.
Upon being a wife and a helpmate to a man, building the community.
But you still haven't addressed the fact that some women don't want to be married.
And that's the problem with our group. That is the problem because you're going against the established order. That's why they're modern women. That's why they're modern women, and they need to be separated from the honorable women.
Why do they need? Why is it that we have men who don't want to get married either, right? Right?
And
so that means they're not honorable men if they don't want to get married, right?
Honorable men has to, okay, so we have it's important, it's imperative that we separate the different classes of men, right? Because we can't say,
wait a minute,
just
hold on.
because,
You
and
just
like,
said it's
and
only
like,
two types of women, and now we got a whole bunch of men. We got a whole bunch of levels
no,
of men.
HQ, you
No,
gotta let me finish. HQ, let me cook. HQ, I'm in the kitchen and the pots is
I
hot.
need a
HQ,
woman
let
to
me
call
cook.
in because I think we need some pushback. We need some pushback after this
All right,
phone call.
okay, so let's look at it, right?
Mhm.
So because you said previously, just because a man got money and he could go out and make a bunch of kids, that doesn't make him honorable. You said that previously. I've heard you say that out your lips, HQ.
That's correct. Just because he
All
goes
right.
out and makes a whole bunch of children does not mean he's an honorable man. I mean, I was specifically talking about Cam Newton. That doesn't make him an honorable man because he can take care of his kids.
We don't have to get specific. I mean, because
Right.
you know he's a number. He's one in the number, right? So I would just say, you know, I'm speaking from the collective of building a healthy community, building a healthy society. What's best for the group, and what's best
Yeah,
for the group
we can't
is
think that way.
every what, huh?
You can't think that way
Why not?
because not everybody thinks what's good for the group. The
And
topic is why do we think of ourselves
separation
as
is needed. And that's where separation is needed. We gotta stop acting like we're one of the same. No, we are not. We
right?
are
No, you were
not.
going to explain to me how is it that women only got two categories: an honorable woman and a non-honorable woman, and why the man has more than two categories. Why do men have more than two categories?
Because you got all these different levels. Okay, let's do it.
Because you just gave the woman two. You just gave the woman just two sides. She's either an honorable woman or she's a tramp.
Pretty much, basically.
Okay.
Because
So there's got to be. So there's two levels to the man. He's either got to be an honorable man or a trampish man, a man unwilling to be married.
If that's what you want to paint it, but guess what? As men, we run the world. We built the world. We would always be at the forefront.
Yes, but you all built that world for what?
For y'all.
My point exactly. So we're the prize. So the question is
no,
this.
you're not.
So
no, you're not.
We're the prize. You're not. no. You're the one who said, you just said you would not have built this world unless it was to find and make softness and someplace to land for us women in this world.
But see, we need y'all and y'all need us to procreate. We need y'all.
But some of us can't procreate.
We're not talking about that. No. We're not talking about that. We don't leave that to the side. We don't leave parking like that. All right. So we need the women. Women need the men to build a society.
No,
so hold on.
Go
Let
ahead.
us. Okay. So we need the honorable women to marry, to build healthy families, in turn building healthy communities. And that's the reason, and that's the only key to building wealth, to building bigger and greater legacies. And you look at all these companies like Procter & Gamble, Kellogg's, and all these big companies that we've been eating for years. That's what you call generational wealth. That's what that only stems from and comes from you building a healthy family and building healthy communities. Now, separation is greatly needed and delineation is greatly needed because we gotta pull out the weeds. Everybody that's dishonorable, we gotta shove them to the side. There must be separation.
So there's dishonorable men.
There are dishonorable men, yes.
And those are the men that don't want to get married.
Men that don't want to get married and build healthy families, those are dishonorable men.
See, we had to let this marinate. The people that don't want to get married, don't want to start a family, don't want to have children, men and women, are dishonorable people.
Because what else are we here for? What's our contribution to a healthy society?
That's if
a healthy
I concern
family,
myself.
community.
That's if I'm concerning myself about that. But what if I'm not concerning myself about that?
Don't be a problem. But if you're not concerning yourself about that, I get it. Majority of women don't want to be married. But on the flip side of that
Wait a
coin,
minute. How is it that you just throw that on the women? Why you throw that on the women like it's the majority of women? It's the majority of men that don't want a woman. They want 3, 4, 5 different women. I
you
think
don't
men are
have
the
to avail
problem.
yourself to those type of men. You can vet better. We talked about this.
Wait a
You
minute.
can vet better and
The
put yourself in
majority
the
of
environment.
women,
Okay, let's go here, right?
if the
Let's go here,
majority
right?
of them don't want to get, if the majority of men don't want to get married, they don't want just one woman. Who
Right, and
is
you
the
don't
problem?
have, and guess what? Guess what? And upon knowing that man has multiple women, you have a choice to stay or leave. Let's take this for example. Nia Long. All right. So when Nia Long came to that coach, used to coach for the Rockets. All right, and she had a kid prior to that relationship. Nia Long had a child prior to that relationship with that coach with the Rockets, right?
Right.
All right. So she got into a relationship with dude. She had another kid by dude. She was then 2 for 2.
Right.
And then when dude got into that little fiasco he had with the lady on the staff, I guess she got full custody of that kid and left, right?
Right.
So we can't sit here and act like, oh, she a victim, because I'm like, you knew, but you didn't have to get in a relationship with that dude. You could have easily, found the average guy.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to blame her are you trying to blame her because he couldn't keep his dick out of somebody else's hands?
I'm speaking on that standpoint of you not having to get with an individual that's around a plethora of women on the regular. Because be real. And he's not a bad looking dude either. So yes. So if he's around all these younger,
wait a minute, you just said
no. HQ, stop. HQ, come on now. Let me finish. Come on.
You just said. You know what you just said.
HQ, come on now. HQ, can I finish?
Finish.
Thank you, HQ. So but listen, if he's around all these hotter, younger women that's finding him attractive, right? Cheerleaders. And all these women the man's a head basketball coach, a man that's fit and in shape. And I believe he's younger than her, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, he's around all these other women that's throwing themselves at him. But see, only thing I would put on her is that I'm like, okay, you came to this situation with a child, but aside from that, you didn't have to go get with a head basketball coach, that a man that's around a plethora of younger, beautiful women. I wouldn't want my woman around.
How did you flip that over? For him being a douchebag, it was her fault.
No, I didn't say that.
Yes, that is what you said. That is what you said. You said she should know. Hold on. You said she should know better. She should know not to deal with a man who's around all these females or has access to
expecting monogamy.
Expecting monogamy. Why wouldn't she expect monogamy?
Hell no.
Why wouldn't she?
Should you?
He's talking about Nia Long. Hold on. He's talking about Nia Long. You know how Nia Long was involved with that basketball player? He was a coach and he cheated on her with the Becky. And he cheated on her with the Becky, and then she had been in a relationship with him, and she had a child prior to that. But she came to a relationship with the basketball guy and had another child, and then he cheated on her with a Becky. He's saying she should have known better. She should have picked a lesser. She should have picked a lesser man.
She could have put herself in a less threatening situation. If I'm dating a woman, and she's doing hosting jobs where she's hosting professional sports figures, she's a club host, but she's my wife and she's my woman. and she's hosting clubs and parties for high profile individuals. I'm not no suitable man, and it got nothing to do with insecurity. No suitable man wants his wife and or woman around high profile men like that. No suitable man wants
who around a high profile man? You mean Nia Long?
No. Her baby, the coach. The coach.
Oh, so you're saying that because she should have known. Wait a minute. You're saying because he's a handsome guy and he's a coach and he has access to all these women, she should have known better. She should have known that he was going to cheat. That she should have just allowed him to do that because he's a high value man. That's what you just said. That's what you just said. That's what you've been saying.
Hey, she should have made a deal. She should have made a deal. Yup. She
made a deal with who? What do you mean made a deal?
She should have made a deal to where if she wouldn't bring no drama, no trouble.
She should have stayed.
He did. She should have stayed. You damn right. She 50 years old.
Why?
She's 2 for 2.
Why?
She should have stayed.
But I'm saying why? Why should she have?
What better options does she have? What better options does she have?
I'm sure she has more. I'm sure she has men that are flocking around her now. She's a beautiful woman. What do you mean?
Knocking her down like Lala. Yes, knocking
what
her
difference does it make whether they're knocking them down or not? You guys still are not marrying your women. Wait a minute, hold on.
It's not honorable.
You all are still not marrying your women.
They're
so
not
what
honorable.
Difference does it make?
Ship them off to the side. Ship them off to the side.
No. Y'all are still not marrying your women.
Regardless
of hold on. Regardless of whether she's a good woman or not, you guys are still not marrying your women. So
because
why are we sitting on the sideline?
You guys don't want the honorable men. You want the men to check off all your boxes, and the men are not checking off all your boxes
because they're not competing. They're not competing the way they're supposed to be competing. They're supposed to be competing with other men. Other men. So when the other men are doing A-list work, our black men are down here doing B and C work. They should be competing with the men who are doing A and D work.
True.
And we as women look at our men and say, why the hell ain't you competing?
HQ. But to what you're saying about every other race of men doing A work and black men doing B and C work, but why is it that it's
I'm not saying that. I'm saying society looks at it that way. So if
right. But see, guess what? But see, if it's okay for every other race of men to be plumbers, pipeline workers, and construction workers, and they are married and their husbands and their wives are coming home and submitting to them, Well, we know the answer to that. I don't see how you all seem to think. Men seem to think that we deal with Pookies and Ray Rays all the time, and that's all we deal with. There's normal men out here getting married, getting sex, and everything else. Why is it that normal men are not getting married? They're getting sex, they're getting relationships. So why they ain't getting married? There's not properly vetting or going across the board. There's not properly vetting. That's something we need to get back to. But HQ, I'm at the 30-minute mark, and I want somebody else to get on.
All right, I need a woman to come up here. Thank you very much. Thank you for the hotness. Thank you. Came in hot, didn't he? You heard what he said. He said he made it seem as though it was Rose. As though Nia was responsible because she picked a high value man or a man that was considered high value. So if she picked a high value man, she should have expected him to exercise his options. So she shouldn't get mad that he was doing what he was doing because she came to the relationship with one child and then she had another child. That's a whole thing of rarefied air that we don't even come down to. But if we get back to this one little fact, he never did say, and look at this, you wrong as hell. But he never did say, women only fall into 2 categories. Why is it that women only fall into 2 categories? Why do men feel as though we only fall into 2 categories? The normal, everyday female and the whore. We show a lot of regular women that are out there doing the regular modern day, what is it called? Cosby wife, the Claire Huxtable stuff. There's plenty of women out here doing the Claire Huxtable thing, and they can't find husbands because men don't want to get married. They want to have the hookup culture. They want to continue with the hookup culture. Why is it that it's all on the woman's fault? So a woman is supposed to be chaste, stay in her lane, don't wear makeup, don't go out, don't party with the girls, don't be a modern woman, and then keep herself for her husband. Or what if she don't want to get married? What if a person don't want to get married? That makes her a slore, that makes her a whore. And because the modern day woman practices hookup culture, sometimes, not all the time, she likes a guy, she has sex with that guy. That guy wants to have 3, 4, 5 different options. He don't want to get into a relationship. He don't want to get pinned down. And so she ends up in a sexual relationship. Hit the like button, everybody. Hit the like button. Contribute to the Cash App. Please support the channel if you can. Please support the channel if you can. Why is it that if we, as women, practice regular modern day things such as men, we're considered the bad ones? Okay, so for example, what if I don't get pregnant, but I practice the hookup culture? So that woman also is not available to be married. That woman also is not worthy of being married. Okay. Just because I have casual sex doesn't mean I'm not worthy of being married. That's your moral decision. That's your moral judgment. That's not a judgment. That's not a real judgment. That's something morally in your head, thinking that sex is somehow bad for a woman to have. Sex is somehow taboo, but it's not taboo for men, but it's taboo for women. And so if a woman practices her sexuality, or she decides to go to the hookup culture, but she doesn't have children, something is wrong with her. Why is it that there can't be something wrong with him? Why isn't he actively looking for a wife? But men talk themselves out of getting wives. I truly believe men talk themselves out of getting wives. Look at what we were talking about when we were dealing with Leon. He's 55 years old, and he's talking about baby mamas. And he's talking about having not being sexually disciplined. Okay? That makes no sense. If I'm single and I don't have kids, I may not want to get married. So I'm supposed to never practice or attempt to explore my sexuality because I'm supposed to wait around for a man who may or may not marry me? But what if he doesn't ever want to get married, or I never want to get married? That's your more when you say, because great men are perfect. Nobody is perfect on this planet. And there should be a lot of things that are off the table. Some things should be off the table when you reach a certain age. I should never have a man come to me and have a conversation about how many people I've slept with if I'm over the age of 35 or 30. And when you think that way, that is your moral thing. Not everyone has a moral what is it called? A moral pinpoint like that. Because if I'm 35 and I have never wanted to have children until I get married, that doesn't mean I'm not marriage material because I've never had children, but I haven't shied away from my sexual self. I think men talk themselves out of being married. There are plenty of women on this planet that don't practice. I'm just gonna sit at home. I'm just not gonna have sex. I'm just not gonna have sex. I'm just not gonna do any of that. I'm just gonna sit at home and cross my legs and hope I never get pregnant. Sit at home and hope somebody wants to marry me. How many women have we seen? How many women have we seen that are plain Janes and no man wants to marry her? But yet and still, that OnlyFans makes millions of dollars every damn month. Prostitutes make money, millions of dollars every month. So if you show me that you like prostitutes and you show me that you like OnlyFans, and I start emulating what she's doing, now you mad. And not all women are fat. We saw a woman over there on Ashley's show. She was fat, but why y'all can't help her lose weight? She seemed to be a decent chick. There's women who come on Ashley's show all the time. And there was one woman who came on Kendra's show. She had a split down the middle and her hair was curled, long hair. And she said something about a provider. She had all the attributes that men say they want. She was nice. She ain't had no kids, nice body, in shape. She seemed friendly. And then she got tore to shreds. Y'all talk y'all way out of a wife because you see all women as less than honorable to marry. I posit you see all women as less than to marry unless she's sitting at home on the couch, not going out with her friends, a virgin, young. And this is how you talk yourself out of relationships, or you talk yourself out of sexuality, or you talk yourself out of whatever. But my whole thing is that modern day woman that people seem to think is so terrible. Can a modern day woman call? Can we get a call from a modern day woman? Can we get a call from a not necessarily modern day woman, but a woman who can explain to me why our modern day women say we don't want to get married? Because they think of us as trash. They disrespect us. They call us prostitutes. They say we ain't worthy of getting married. We're not worthy of getting married. And I say you talk yourself out of having a relationship. Okay? They talk themselves out of relationships. Men do. Because there are plenty of beautiful human beings walking around this planet looking for the right husband. And I don't want to hear about that Kevin Samuels shit. 666. Because we already know that's not true. When they say 6 feet, she really wants somebody taller than her. That doesn't mean 6 feet. That's just a wish list. That 666 is a wish list. But most women dealing with, according to y'all, Pookies and Ray Rays, but they ain't Pookies and Ray Rays. They regular, ordinary guys. And there's dudes in the suburbs getting some of these girls pregnant. So it ain't all Pookies and Ray Rays. So we have an issue on both sides. But my whole point is men think of women as prostitutes, as 304s. He said it on the line. He said there's only two types of women. Honorable women who sit down, who don't do nothing, who don't go on trips, who don't hang out with their girlfriends, who don't practice casual sex, who don't do all of these things. This is what this person said. Or it's the whore. So there wasn't no in between, right? It don't matter whether older women have too much baggage. Older men have baggage too. I'm confused. You're saying something everybody on this planet know. Older women and older men have baggage. Some of us know how to take the baggage out of our bag, look at it, examine it, and put it back in the bag and make light of it. Some of us don't know how to do that. Some of us don't know how to do that. No. So the whole point is you have to learn to do that. You can't just say people have baggage, because we all have baggage. Some of us know how to work with that. Some of us know how to deal with that. So that's not an excuse. Men have garbage relationships just like women have garbage relationships. If you buy into the fact that only women have trauma and men just be stoic and they just don't deal with that, it makes no sense. Okay. But there's women. We all have issues. We all have problems. But it was only two types. He never did get to say what the men were. And since there's not just two types of women, there's not just two types of men. And no one, not everyone concerns themselves about the good of the group. The whole point is we have to get past those kind of things. And people, of course, they should care about what's going on in a relationship. We should care about the forwarding or the leaping forward of our community, but people don't. They care about their individual things, their individual lives. Okay. I just don't see the point of someone saying, oh, okay, well, she practiced her sex. She practiced it. She's a modern, everyday woman. She goes to work. She goes to school. She comes home. She gets dinner. She may have sex every once in a while. She may do this, that, and the other. But she's considered a slower because she has sex every once in a while. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Women should never, for one, you should never tell anybody your past unless it's a girlfriend or any kind of relationship unless it's a girlfriend. And if you don't want to pull your skeletons out of your closet as a man, you shouldn't worry about the skeletons that are in my closet. Like, for example, if I dated someone and they're 50, they're 57, just like me, I'm not asking them about their past. Except, have you been married? Do you have a girlfriend? You have kids? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I had kids. I had these kids out of wedlock. Why would I be concerned about anything to do with that? When I hit 30 years old, if I'm 30 years old. If I'm 30 and I don't have any kids, and I'm a female, I'm a normal, healthy female, a normal, healthy female will go to work, go to school, eat, take herself out to dinner, go on trips, have sex with one specific man or whoever she wishes to. And if she doesn't have children, her past is irrelevant to someone. Her past should be irrelevant to people. Your moral judgment is the only thing that makes it relevant, because I would never say anything about it. So that's why I'm saying when you talk yourself out of this, men talk themselves out of this shit. You're worried about how many people I hooked up with. You should be worried about me hooking up with you. And just because I slept with Johnny 3 months ago doesn't make me a slower. Because you paid for $40 is easy for men to come up with. And don't think anything of it. I'm not talking about anything freaky. I'm talking about normal, everyday relationships. People having sex with 1 or 2 people a year is not nothing to write home about. This is what I mean by talking yourself out of relationships. This is what I mean by talking yourself out of having productive relations with people. Because if a woman is asking you who you slept with, there's a problem. If a man is asking you who you slept with, that's a problem. A lot of women are not. That may be a small minority that they're smashing 1 and 2 people a week. Most women are not doing that. Most women have one person that they're dealing with. And then they get done with dealing with that person, and then they may get involved with another person. But I'm saying men have an image of women as whorish because they sleep with a person. So if I've had one lover for the past 2-3 years, one lover, I'm considered a whore. This is what we hear. This is what women hear. I know if I say, oh, okay, HQ has had 3 lovers. I've had 3 lovers in the past 3 years. There would be some idiot that got on here and called me a whore. You think they have 10 dude rotations. That's a fantasy. You are a product of that red pill stuff. Steve Madden, you are I want to, and for the record, I would love to hear a red pill guy come up with what is it called? Success rate, because you follow that red pill talking point. Those rotations belong to men that they don't sleep with. They may deal with 3 men, but that don't mean they're sleeping with all 3 men. That's what y'all don't get. And I know women have said this many times. We have rotations that we date, but that don't mean we sleep with all of them. There's a difference between dating women and sleeping with them. You men would be sleeping with all of those women that you had a rotation with. Women don't sleep with all the men that they have a rotation with. Okay. So I'm saying I have 3 lovers in 3 years. Someone would come up here and call me a whore. KIC said it. We have a bunch of orbiters, but we may sleep with one. That doesn't mean that we're a whore because we have these people that are around us. One new guy, that means nothing. One new guy means nothing. One guy per year means nothing. That's nothing in the realm of anything. I know I'm old enough to understand that. But if you continuously have these things roll around on your track and you say, oh, if she has 3 lovers in 3 years, she's a whore, that's your moral judgment. That's not a regular judgment. That's your moral standing. Because in the longevity of things, that's not a lot of people. And I'm saying you want a relationship with someone, you need to get off this track of just because a woman sleeps with a man, she's a whore. You need to get off that track. Yes, we have rotation, but those rotations are dating rotations. Those rotations are not sleeping with every man that we go on a date with rotation. There's a big difference. A big difference. I remember at one point I had dates like I had like 5-6 dates a week. That didn't mean I was sleeping with them. Definitely not. I was trying to figure out what guy I liked. Who did I like? Did I like him more? Did I not like him more? So I'm trying to figure out, how does that make any woman, something wrong with the woman because she dates and she wants to find out who she likes? Okay. It all comes down to whether you're discerning or you're not discerning. Are you one of those people that know how to pick decent human beings, or are you one of those people that just hook up? And there's nothing wrong with hooking up. There's nothing wrong with hooking up. If you don't have any intention of being married. You men do it all the time. That means you're whores too. You hook up all the time. But I'm saying there's people on this planet that don't want to get married. So therefore, how do you put a person who don't want to get married into the category of not non-decent women because they don't want to get married? You saying a woman has to be married because that's her purpose, that's a moral judgment. That's not reality. Okay, that's not a reality. And not every person lives along the Bible lines. So you cannot enforce your morality onto me, and I'm not a religious person. I'm not a religious person, but I consider myself a good person. Because I try to do the right thing, do no harm, sympathy and empathy, all that good stuff. So I don't take the label. I don't look at the label and say, oh, because you're not married, then and you have a sexual relationship, you're a whore. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Because it cannot be half of us are 3 or 4s, half of us are whores, and the other half are not. That's not how that works. And just because you say it's hookups out here, that doesn't mean there's not women out here that would like to get married, who don't have children. 80% of the men are whores too. So what's your point? If you're 80% over there, men are whores, and 80% of the women are whores, that means it's a wash. So the term whore is negligible. Okay. A lot of people can maintain relationships. They just aren't ready for them. If you're a decent looking man, you know how to walk upright, shave, clean your ass, do all of that, and you ain't found no good woman, then there's something wrong with you. That means something inside your head is putting a blocker between you and the good women. That case in point, women are all 80% whores. That means you see all women as recreational use only. And if you see all women as recreational use only, how are you going to see the good women who are not recreational use? Because you darn sure ain't looking for the 20% that ain't recreational use. You looking at the 80%. You still in the 80% face, looking at them, cussing them out, talking about y'all all whores, but you ain't looking around the corner at them 20%. Because if you a decent man who know how to shave, work, decently sized, know how to take care of a woman, know how to talk, you shouldn't have any problem finding a woman unless them 80% of them whores is standing in your way and you can't see nothing else. You can't see the forest for the trees. Thank you for the super chat single by choices. Thank you. Yes, I saw that 2,000 this afternoon. I didn't. I wasn't paying attention. I saw that this afternoon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And hit the like button when you come in, guys. Hit the like button. Thank you. That traditional wife is not. That's not always a good thing. It's not always a good thing. Women these days demand respect and demand faithfulness. But we have men out here who are saying it's not in a man's nature to be faithful. And we have men out here saying 80% of the women are whores. So if you have that mentality in your mind stuck, how are you supposed to get past that to find a good wife? If you can't see nothing but the 80% that are whores, how are you supposed to find a wife? Like you can't. I don't even know how to. Shit. So how are we supposed to find those regular? How are we supposed to find those regular women? Thank you, Raquel. I think I see that. I ain't sure. Thank you, Raquel. Yesterday for the Cash App, $5 Cash App. Thank you. So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying if you don't see anything but 80% whores, how are you supposed to find a decent woman? And why do you feel as though 80% of us are whores when some of those women are regular, everyday, all day women? First of all, the first thing you do is you have to figure out why are you looking for, what are you looking for, and why do you have these feelings regarding all women? Because she has one partner, two partners, or whatever. Why do you think of her as a hoe? There's no way. You are not sitting there. You, as a man, are not sitting there waiting for a woman to show up before you have sex. She may feel as though she may not want to have children. So therefore, she's not looking to get married because she doesn't want to have children right now. People are out here talking about if she has makeup on, or she has a weave on, or she has these kind of things on, she's not good wife material. There's plenty of women out here. Yeah, well, that's an indication right there. If she giving up the cheeks early, but what if she don't? Are you gonna sit back and say, "Oh, she's just trying to reel me in"? If her lash is too long, she for the streets. Yeah, tight crazy. If her lash is too long, she for the streets. You nuts. But what I'm saying is, some of y'all don't get past that 80%. If you can't get past that 80% and find that 20%, and that's all you see is that 80%, you never gonna find a woman. You never gonna find a wife. Nobody said women were equal. We are equal. We're just not physically equal. A lot of us are mentally equal. We're unequal only in that particular way. At least that's the way I think. Physically, we're not equal, but mentally and emotionally, spiritually, we can be equal. We are equal. Because the whole point is, the subject of this show was, why am I only recreational use? Why do you think of me as only a hookup or a whore or anything like that? Because I may have had one lover, or I may have had two lovers. He said 80% of the women are whores. Okay, so what are the other 20%? What the other 20% doing? So you looking for the other 20%. You ain't worried about the 80%. You out there looking at them 20%, right? Or is it that you like them 80%? Because a lot of y'all like them 80% and you mad at yourself because you like that 80%. Okay. We want a female to call in. We want a modern, everyday, ordinary female to call in because we had the Red Pill Mr. Steamatic Network call in and say all the Red Pill talking points. But I wanted to hear from a female. This modern day female thing. Don't be embarrassed. I'm a modern day female and I consider myself a very good person. And wife material, regardless of whether I have a husband or not. Wife material. And if I wanted to have a lover, I would have a lover. But that don't make me a whore because I have a lover. Okay? A female who can counteract G Honda's narrative. G Honda said there's only two types of women, the whore or the regular woman. Regular woman who stay in the house, he didn't say go to church. Stay in the house, don't sleep around, don't do this, don't do that. He said there's only two types of women. And then he sort of balked when I asked him about it only being two types of men. I said, if it's only two types of women, then it can only be two types of men. So there are men whores who ain't worthy of being married to. And then there's men who are worthy of being married to. And I was like, okay, well then, let a woman come up here and explain that. Okay. Two types of women, the whores, and he mean whores by going out, hanging out with your girlfriends, going on girls trips, maybe having a boyfriend. We got a roster, y'all. They really think we have rosters of men that we sleep with all of them. They really think we sleep with all of them. We may sleep with one, and then there may be ones that we date, but we may or may not even sleep with that one. Hey, Tierney. Hey, honey. Sugar Bomb. Chocolate. KC. I'm saying we have rotation, but we don't sleep with all of them. We don't sleep with all of them. We may be sleeping with one and that's it. And just because we sleep with that one doesn't make us a whore. That's what I'm saying. The men out here are, what do you mean? That's what you said. You said that. You said there's only two types of women. Whores. No, I don't know what you call, I forgot what you call it. Whores and the regular women. That's what you said. And there's a whole bunch of room in between. There's a whole bunch of us in between. I believe most of us fall in the middle where we have a boyfriend, a lover, and then we get out of the relationship and then we look for another relationship and it just ends up like that. The women, the people down here who are the incels who don't have relationships, and then there's people over here who are straight trashy who do all the hookup. Most of us are in the middle where we're in relationships when we have sexual relations. There's some hookups. 10 relationships, that's not relationships. That's the point. Those are not relationships. Those are just situations. You mean men have 10 relationships a year? Easy. Women normally don't have that many lovers per year. They may have one or two and that's it. And I'm saying to you, you say it's 80% that women are whorish. So my whole point is, if you shave, take a bath, got a job, walk upright, and do all of these things, why you ain't got no woman? Why you ain't looking at that 20%? Why you worried about that 80%? If what you say is true, that 80% of the women are being whorish, why is it that you ain't looking at that 20% and finding yourself a wife? And why you worried about the 80% when the 20% may be fat, but she's all the qualifications that all of the qualifications that you want, except she's overweight, but you don't want to take her because she's overweight. But yet she got the submissive in there. She want to be submissive. She want to be polite, want to raise kids, know how to do all that, but y'all don't want her. Y'all want the 80%. So if you want the 80%, a good way to get a decent woman out of the 80% is stop calling the 80% hoes. That only makes sense. And if you can't, like I said, you walk upright, you know how to shave and all that, and the only thing you see is the 80%, that means that's a you problem. We had this conversation and we had it out, me and Leon, the other night. Leon is his age. He's 55. There's no reason he needs to be looking at that 80%. Because that's what he's doing. He's looking at that 80% and not seeing the 20%. The 80% ain't his lane. And if you say 80% ain't for you, then you need to be looking at the 20%. And saying, I'm finna look at that 20%, I'm finna get the 20%, but you ain't attracted to that 20%. That's the whole thing. You all are not attracted to the 20%. You're attracted to the 80%. And you're mad that the 80% are doing what they want to with their body. Then you need to wade into that 80% and you need to pull your woman out of there. And just because she has on makeup, she wears a weave, she does this, that, and the third, don't mean she ain't wife material. There are plenty of women out here who don't have kids. That Sexy Red chick don't have no kids. Is it Sexy Red or is it Glorilla? Which one of them don't have no kids? Says she ain't having no kid. It's one of them that say they ain't having no kids, but she out there shaking her ass, right? Glorilla, there it is, Glorilla. She independent. She wears a costume to work. She's independent. She knows she don't want to have no kids. She knows she doing this for a job. She doing whatever. Why ain't Glorilla? Why ain't Glorilla a good choice? If she quit doing what she was doing. You don't know that. You don't know nothing about Glorilla. She got enough sense not to be out there with her. She got enough sense not to be out there getting pregnant. And she fit. I'm just saying, there are plenty of women like Glorilla that don't shake their ass on the stage. But because she wears a weave, because she does this, because she goes on trips with her girl, because she does that, and she don't have no kids, y'all look past her. And I'm saying there's 80% that are whores. What about the 20%, Ty? Why you ain't behind that? Look, why you ain't behind? Why you ain't stop? Why you ain't push the 80% aside and look at them 20%? Because I say you don't want them 20%. You want that 80%. Okay? You have to look past that 80%. Stop worrying about that 80%. Because if you keep saying 80% is whores, you ain't never going to find your woman. You ain't never going to find the one that you're looking for. I get it. Hookup culture, people accept it. People encourage casual sex encounters, one-night stands, all that good stuff. But a lot of people want emotional intimacy, bonding, committed relationships. But you will never know that if you don't get close to it and ask it. I brought up Glorilla because Glorilla said, I saw her in an interview, and she said, this is what I do. This is my job on stage. I ain't finna have no babies out of wedlock. She fit all of those things. That's why I brought her up, because y'all just look at her shaking her ass. She looks at her shaking her ass as a job. Beyonce shakes her ass. That's her job. And yet and still, she's married to Jay-Z. So somewhere along the line, behind the scenes, she qualified as a woman, as a wife. Okay. She qualified as a woman. So everybody is saying because she's a stripper, she can't have no morals or values because she take her clothes off. I'm not saying she is or isn't. I'm just saying, you see how the judgment is. Okay. That's the judgment kicking in. I'm saying you need to get out of your way. You need to get out of your way. If you think you continuously saying 80% of the women are whores and you're not looking behind them to catch the 20%, that tells me that's a you problem. I'm not saying anybody marry a stripper. That's not what I'm saying. Strippers marry people who accept them for who they are. Go ahead on and do your thing. I'm saying normal, everyday Claire Huxtables who say they want a man to provide. We had a perfect example on Kendra the other day. She got up and she had matching pants and a shirt, and she had a nice ass, nice body. She had her hair parted in the middle, makeup on, teeth straight. She had a dog she had a Pomeranian in her hand. She had her own job doing her own thing, and she said, oh, I want a provider. I want somebody to take care of me. And this is the woman that you say can ask for these things. Yet and still, she got dragged. So what woman are you talking about what woman are you talking about? But you can't talk about that woman. Men have no leg to stand on. You know why? Because we showed a woman that was the first one who came on Kendra G show. No, Ashley show. Hair all over the place, no wig, no weave, none of that. She had braces on. She was a little bit hefty. She was excited about a date. And yet and still, oh, she ugly. I ain't never gonna date her. Oh, hell no. Most of us are a combination of all of those things. Most of us are a combination of all of those things. And yet and still, you want Glorilla, but you want Glorilla to be a nun. Or you want Beyonce, but you want Beyonce to be a nun. When you pull up, she couldn't. If she had sex a year ago, she's a whore. If she got a boyfriend and you pull up, you scared to approach her because she got a boyfriend. She may be the one for you. She had a Pomeranian in her hand. She had a blondish dog sitting right here, and then she had on, and it was a Kendra G show. She had a Pomeranian in her hand. What do you mean? Yeah, they want women who are aesthetically pleasing. You want the 80%. But you don't want the job of competing for that 80%. You don't want the job of competing for the 80%. And you say women don't compete. Women are always competing because men are always trying to run off and fuck somebody else. So it's always a matter of competing in that way. You say that 80% are whores. If 80% of the women are whores, that means you only got 20% to work with. Which means you have to do what you need to do to get next to them 20%. Stop worrying about that 80%. Since they whores, I wouldn't even, if I walked into a room and there was 10 men in that room and somebody told me 5 of them was murderers, I would ignore all 5 of them murderers. And I would concentrate on these other 5. That's what I'm saying to you. You say you walked into the room and then there's 80% of us are whores. I would ignore them 80% and focus on them 20%. That's all I'm saying. There's 5 murderers in the room and 5 good guys. I would ignore them 5 over there. And then I would deal with these 5 over here. And I'd be as pleasant as possible with these 5 over here. Trying to compete with them 5 for them 5 over there. That's what you do. You don't constantly sit there and say, all y'all whores, all y'all whores, all y'all whores, all y'all ain't white material. Shit. And then 20% standing over there saying, well, damn, I can't even get no play because he worried about them 80%. Yes, because not every person is perfect, and they're not going to come in the always come in the package in which you dream about. My package looks like Denzel Washington, but what is the fucking chances of me ever meeting Denzel Washington? So therefore, Denzel Washington is a part of that 20%, that 20% that are unattainable. So I got to look in the 80%. Right or wrong? No, I'm not. G Honda, you started this shit. You the one started this shit. You the one said there's only whores and regular women. You said that. I'm just following your lead. I'm just following what you said. So if I go by your premise and 80% of the women are whores, that means there's only 20% to deal with. Okay. So you already know you ain't getting Zendaya. So therefore you need to your Zendaya, the one you really looking for, is in that 20%. So you say Zendaya is in this 80%. The real Zendaya is in the 80%. You ain't gonna get her. Okay. So that's all I'm saying. I'm saying get out of your way. Get out of your way. Ignore the 80%. Ignore the 80%. If you, in your mind, if 80% are whores, then that only leaves 20%. And focus on the 20%. Stop worrying about whether a woman is a whore or not. Because there's other men who see it as 70-30. And there's other men who see it as 60-40. And he gonna find his wife in that 40%. 60% are whores and 40% are not. He gonna find his wife in them 40. And his wife may have makeup on. His wife may wear a weaves. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying y'all are in your own way when you call all women whores. I'm just a casual lay, but I'm not deserving of respect because I got on wigs. I'm not deserving of being married because I had a boyfriend last year or I got one kid. I'm following your lead, G Honda. You the one who said that there wasn't no good women out here. You the one came up with these red pill talking points. I'm saying to you, show me, show us who this paragon of virtue is who got a wife that follows all these red pill talking points. And I'll show you a liar. I will show you a liar. Levitina, I wanted a modern day woman to call in to counteract what the hell G Honda said. G Honda said they ain't nothing but hoes. There's 80% hoes on the planet and 20% regular women. Now, we women know that ain't true. We know that ain't true. I want to hear from a single woman or a married woman who can counteract that narrative. Because I'm highly upset. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. What category do I fall into? If 80% of the women, 9 times out of 10, the bulk of us fall into that 80% because you know that 20% is something else. The unfuckables, the ugly ones, the handicapped ones, the mentally lacking one, that's the other 20%. That we fall 20% is that's the 20%. So therefore, you saying all of us are that. And I'm saying that cannot be true. Because if the 20% that are left are mentally disabled, physically disabled, slow, blah, 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 not fit for relationship, or virgins. If that 20%, if that's the 20%, that means the rest of us who are normal are the whores. And that can't be the case because not all of us are whores that hit that 80%, that are in that 80%. So I'm saying you need to think, you men need to think about that when you say these things. There's no way that good women only are in that 20%. That's not that's the unfuckables. And maybe some good ones. I mean, maybe some virgins or whatever. But the rest of us fall into this 80%. And I'd be damn if you motherfuckers call me a whore. So I'm saying you need to reevaluate that 80% because that cannot be true. Because the math don't work. So what if women have children out of wedlock? That don't mean she's a whore, G Honda. I can understand if she had 10, 20 kids, but a woman who got 1 kid is not a whore. I can stay monetized like saying this. I'm saying 1 kid doesn't make her a whore. Okay. That still doesn't make her that still doesn't make her a whore. Just because she has boyfriends and she isn't married by 30 doesn't make her a whore. I'm saying you getting in your own way. That's a moral judgment, Jay Honda. Stop being morally superior. You're not morally superior. That's what I'm saying. Stop putting your moral judgment on people. That's not how the world works. We all do things that we're not proud of. People do it every day. That doesn't mean they're not good people. Promiscuity, that is a moral thing. It just looks like a lot of people are having sex. Promiscuity on one person means they're having sex multiple times. Most people are not having sex like that. You men aren't having sex like that. You men aren't having sex like that. So if you men are not having sex like that and we are having sex with the men, that means we're not having sex like that. Just because you can see when this woman had sex because she has children doesn't mean she's a whore. So am I. But that doesn't mean if I met the right guy tomorrow, I wouldn't hear. That doesn't mean if I didn't meet the right guy tomorrow, that wouldn't mean that I wouldn't have a sexual relationship. I'm not hung up about that. Of course I am. I know what celibate means. Celibate means people who don't have sex until they want to. I'm one of those people. I will have sex when I want to. I just don't happen to want to right now. So that means I'm celibate. But that don't mean tomorrow I wouldn't change my mind. Okay? Because I don't have a hang up of saying, oh, I can't sleep with nobody. I can't. Somebody might think of something. I don't give a rat's ass what somebody think of me and my sexuality. And most people shouldn't worry about other people's sexuality. Don't worry about what other people are doing. We talking about us. We trying to get married. Okay. Yeah, that's the only evidence that she's had sex. If you don't say anything, if you don't say anything, but you're sexually active, you have a boyfriend, wouldn't nobody know one way or the other. But these men out here are projecting the fact that if you're 30 or over or whatever, you got to have been on the cock carousel. You have to have been on the cock carousel. And that's not always the case. I'm flipping the celibacy switch like an Uber driver. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I deliberately decided I was going to be celibate. So that's what I have been doing and practicing. Okay. But that's because I haven't found a man that's attractive enough. So if I find a man that's attractive enough, then I will have sex. If that so chooses. See, I don't have to worry about getting pregnant. Y'all ass got to worry about getting people pregnant. Jihad a wild. So I'm saying get out of your way. 80%, there's no way there could be 80% of us that are whores. You see how that works, right, Ty? That other 20% belongs to the untouchables or unfuckables or whatever. And then that's the 80%. So we all can't be in that 80% of whores. So I'm saying get out of your way. Okay. It's the hookup culture that has made it seem as though women are not fit to be wives. There's plenty of women out here who don't have children, who may have one child, who may be a widow. Why y'all ain't looked for them? Why haven't you looked for the women who are widows? They had one child and they're a widow. And the daddy is not alive. Skinner man, stop it. Y'all hit the like button, please. I would love cash apps. If anybody had cash apps, it would be nice. $2, $1, $5. That'd be great. That'd be great. Thank you for the content. And I would love a lady to call in and counteract some of this garbage, some of this nonsense that we hear all the time. Any one of those ladies that would call and say, hey, that's not true. No bread, no water, just me. Stop it. G.I., you nuts. So I'm saying, this is why we're single. This is why we're single. This is why our society, our community, 20% 20% involved. He said 80% of the women are whores and 20% are not. But that 20% includes people that you would not even look at. People that you wouldn't look at those 20%. Those 20% over here are the whores. Somebody whose handicap is not a whore 9 times out of 10. Somebody who's mentally incompetent is not a whore 9 times out of 10. Women over here, the 20% that are married, are over here in this 20%. See what I'm saying? 80% can't be whore. It cannot be 80% of us that are whores. Okay? We all fall on a small scale. We're all on a scale. And some of us have sex every once in a while. We may have rotations. That's just sleeping with one man. That's not sleeping with all the men. And I'm saying men start marrying you. And a lot of y'all, wait a minute, hold up. A lot of y'all just sit there and be in relationships with women and y'all get to talking that foo-foo la-la about legal shit. I can't marry her because of the league, the law. I would like that Cooley Foo-Foo Nani or Fugazi dude talking 2-point crazy. I ain't marrying her. I ain't gonna let the law do whatever. Yet you having baby after baby with her and you gonna be ass out for money because she had kids by you. That's just dumb. I'm saying that 80% can't be true, Ty. So you need to look through there again. And true enough, you may have standards all day. But maybe you need to reevaluate all of those. I'm being abstinent or celibate or however y'all want to slice it. And it's not a matter of me saying I'm not going to have sex. It's a matter of me not having ran across a man that would allow me to say, yeah, I can sleep with him. That's why I haven't done it. Because I haven't. Although I get approached all the time. Just, okay. These women busting it open. No, they're not busting it open. Ladies in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you say you think women are busting it open all the time. And I wouldn't be busting it open all the time anyway, because y'all don't like to give no orgasms. Okay. Maybe if we had more men who actually wanted to commit to women, if men came out en masse and said, we're looking for wives, you don't think there would be some decent women that would come out of the woodwork and say, I'm willing to be a decent wife? You don't think there's a decent women who would come out of the woodwork and say, I'm willing to get on your program? If y'all made it known that y'all wanted to be married, because a lot of women don't think y'all want to be married. A lot of women think y'all just want to fuck without having without benefit of being a husband. Okay. That's another thing. There's a lot of women out here don't need to be married. See, the whole point of marriage long time ago was because we needed to get married. Women needed to get married. They needed the protection of a man. They needed the covering of a man. Now these women say we don't need the covering of a man. And since they said that, now men call them whores for doing the hookup thing. Or not doing the hookup thing. Just dating, just regular dating. Yes, both parties want to try somebody out before. Would you get married to somebody before having sex with them? There's a lot of people who do, but you don't want to do that these days. Young people don't want to do that these days, right or wrong. So my whole point is, if you don't want to do that, then you shouldn't be judging her because she wants to do that too, Aaron. Because if she thinks like you, why would you have judgment on her when you think that same way? And I say, stop looking at the 80%. Worry about that 20% if that's what you're going to do. If you think it's only 80%, worry about that 20%. Because there's a lot of men out here who don't want to get pregnant, who don't want to get married too. You can't blame that on women. Men say, well, these women are whores. We can't marry these women. They whores. No, you men are doing the whore shit. You're doing the whore shit too. If you doing the whore shit just like she doing the whore shit, what makes you better than her? Don't give me that bullshit. Don't give me the bullshit about men and women ain't the same. I don't want to hear that. We ain't doing talking points. We're doing reality here. The reality is how you vet someone. You look at 4 things. Do they have sympathy? Do they have empathy? Do they have a willingness to communicate? Everybody can communicate, but are they willing to communicate? And last but not least is do no harm to other human beings. I start with those 4 things when I want to vet a man, when I look at a man and see whether he's ready to be married, whether he's ready for a wife, whether he wants a wife. Empathy, sympathy, do no harm, and whether he's willing to communicate. Because if he ain't willing to communicate and he don't have no sympathy or no empathy, you shouldn't even be looking at him. That means he'll do you dirty for real. Oh, she want G Honda to answer. I'm sorry. What qualifies a man as a whore? There's whoremongers. They call themselves whoremongers who just sleep with women for the satisfaction or release. When you go from woman to woman because you can't seem to get enough of your release, then you're a whore. What about respect, integrity, honesty, and loyalty? You don't find those things out until after you meet that particular person or you've been seeing that person for a while. But the first clue is whether that person has empathy or sympathy, or they want to do harm to other human beings. Who wants to deal with a person like that?
From
Libertina.
to accept, press 1.
Libertina, hello, honey. How you doing?
Hey, beautiful. How are you tonight?
Fine, thank you. What do you have on this subject and this pushback from these men tonight?
You know, and I'm just tuning in. Just got work. I'm trying to relax. So let me tune in at HQ real quick.
Okay.
But the guy in the chat, he just said something about, which kind of just strikes a nerve with me when these men say, oh, you have to properly vet them. And I'm like, tell me, how can you, like, I know what you just said, which is all good. But how do you properly vet somebody who can lie?
Yes.
To the fullest.
Yes.
Who can sit there and say, I mean, and they put on the best representative they can, but when they get you, they change into a totally different person. Now, I would tell you like this. My husband, I would have never thought, we were best friends in high school. Best friends for years. We dated. He courted me, we dated. Everything. Like, it was just like the American dream. Like, you meet, you be friends, you fall in love, blah, blah, blah. Nobody could have told me that this man would have cheated at all. Nobody could have told me that this man would have turned into a monk. answer behind closed doors.
Mm,
Nobody could have told me that. So
right.
how could I properly have vetted that when this person was my best friend? When I knew this person for years before we even went on our first date as a couple.
Mm,
When we dated, was engaged and everything, it wasn't until after I got pregnant and he had responsibility
hmm
that he decided to turn into something else. So how do you properly vet that?
Right.
Tell me, because these guys, so that means that what? Now you have somebody who have now, and it's not a trauma dump,
hmm
and it's not even a lack of accountability. See, they don't want to hold these men accountable, but then here they go. They
hmm
always want to hold the women accountable.
So here's
You
my
know what
wait,
I'm
wait,
saying?
like, let's address that lack of accountability. Okay, so what was she supposed to do? I want to hear from the men in the chat.
Yeah,
What
I
is this
want to
vetting
hear
process that you have?
what was supposed to be the vetting process
Right.
of having a clear, because my whole thing is listen to the way they talk inside this chat. I want to know, since they got all the answers, y'all get up on here, because that struck a nerve with me
Right.
when you
Because it's
said,
it's
let's
always
just
the
be
woman.
logical.
Because it's always the one.
It's
No, I
always
got
the
it before you
woman.
got here, you know the situation with Nia Long and her boyfriend, her husband who cheated on her with the Becky way up in Connecticut or wherever. You remember that situation?
Yeah,
They were saying,
yeah.
Gihanna was saying it was her fault that she didn't vet. How do you vet something like
How do
that?
you vet? Right. How do you vet when they get you and then they betray you? How do you vet that? How can you kind of act this huge betrayal of opening up yourself to this person?
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Loving this person, accepting this person for who they are, and they're supposed to accept you for who you are. Y'all get into this love, and then all this happens. And then when responsibility hits this person, then the real stuff comes up out of them. So
Right.
don't be talking about, oh, you got to do your homework. Tell me, what should I study, sir? Since
Right.
you're talking about got to do your homework. See, these men have never even been out of their neighborhood.
Mm,
Sounds like they ain't never even been up out of their cities.
mm,
They have not been from over here in the south to the north to the west. They have not even seen this whole country compared to, you know what I'm saying? It's a different mindset everywhere.
right.
But I still want to know what kind of man or how do you are supposed to be vetting this person. Just like she just said, we was friends for years, high school best friends.
Mhm.
He say he a truck driver.
Mhm.
Boy, you still ain't getting out of that truck and doing nothing. You just riding around.
Right.
I'm talking about going in and actually staying and living in different places. Can you say that you've lived inside of a different state? Can
Right.
you say that you've lived outside of your neighborhood that you can come back to off of your truck route?
So my question is this: what standards do
Look
you
at
say?
them, they all struck.
Ain't nobody
They
and nobody
struck.
has put anything in the chat that says how does she
Nothing.
vet? She was friends with this man for years. She thought she knew him inside and out. How was she to know that he was going to do what he did? There's no way for you to know. Even the FBI can't vet people. The FBI get it wrong on people. You can't vet people. You can only look for markers and say, okay, this didn't happen, this didn't happen. She did all of that. These things did happen with her. She did vet as far as she could. She was raised with him. They were raised together in high school. So she knew all of this stuff.
Knew his entire family. Hung out over his grandma's house with him. I mean, me and his aunts and uncles still talk to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And still, can't nobody tell me how could I have vetted that he would have done something like that.
Yes.
So
and that's the whole thing. We can't, there's no way for us to do that. No way for us to figure out if a person is going to be a person like they were when we first met. There's no way to do that. So I hate when they say you need to vet. So when they say you need to vet, I say only 4 things. You look for this, and this, and that's it. You can't do no more than that. You can't do no vetting, because you don't know whether they're gonna cheat 5 years down the road. They're gonna walk off and leave me and a baby down the road. They're gonna beat the shit out of me 2-3 years in. You can't vet none of that. You can see if they're violent beforehand. You can see if they have a propensity to be a cheater beforehand. But a lot of stuff come out of the blue after you get married. Stressors happen in relationships. I don't want to be a dad no more. I ain't got enough money to take care of you and the kids and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm out.
And this was part of the thing too, right? And this was part of the thing too. Because he had told me, he was like, well, I felt like, he was like, when he started doing all this, because he was having friends, we was all military. So he was having friends who was single but the same age, and so he started to compare himself like, okay, well, now I'm married, so I have to go home to this one person, but they're single and they get to go out and be with so many other women, and I kind of want to do that too. So he started doing that, and I'm like, wait a minute now, I didn't ask you to marry me. You asked me to marry you.
Right.
And you and I were best friends. So why would you treat me as such?
Oh,
you know
wow.
What I'm saying?
Wow.
And why would I be in the barracks? I was married, G Honda.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was your first mistake. She was in the military. What?
He say that was my first mistake. I was in the military. You know what? Let me tell you something. Not only am I retired military, I am also a college graduate. So don't tell me about any mistakes, okay?
Right.
I make well into 6 figures. Don't play with me, hon.
Right.
Don't play with me. So, anyways,
okay.
She said, tell Lambertina to call.
You come on StreamYard.
What's StreamYard?
Oh, you can come on. You can click the link. You can go in the chat and click the link, and then come on the panel. But you don't have to come on the panel and be seen. You can be behind the scenes, and we can hear you talk.
Okay, so
if you click the link and say, if you click the link inside the chat box.
Okay, so go ahead and hang up and click the link.
Yeah, you can click the link inside the chat box.
Good.
Yeah, and that way 2 or 3 people can be on this panel. Yeah.
Yes, because we need these scaries to get on up here.
Oh yeah, I would love to hear one of y'all, you men, come up here and talk. What's going on?
Oh, the link has already been dropped, G Honda.
I just dropped the link
because I'm about to drop it. I'm about to get on this thing right now.
Okay.
How about G Honda get it? Come on, Ty. You
all right.
Come on, Ty too.
I just dropped the link, G Honda. What do you mean? I just copied and dropped it.
He can't read.
Here we go. Paste it. Okay, y'all see the link in there. Y'all see the link, right?
Okay. I'm clicking on it now.
Okay. All right. You don't want to. Y'all wild. Don't get wild up here. Who clicking the link? You said drop the link. Come on up. You can get behind the camera. You don't have to be on camera. I don't care about that. If you're coming up, come up with some smoke. If you got some smoke, women can come up, and you ain't got to be on camera. You can just be behind the camera. I don't care. I don't know how to pull that stuff together. No way. Is it working? Is the link working, guys? Because I hope I wasn't supposed to do something else. I only did it once or twice beforehand. So I think it worked. Not here. Okay. Send this link to your guests. You know, I'll share it. Okay. I'm doing it one more time because I ain't sure that I did it. I hope I did it, right? Okay. I did. I think I did it. So guys, come up. And that's for the link or for somebody come behind. Right. The link is in the chat. Okay. So she said there wasn't no way for her to figure out whether her husband was going to do what he did. How is that her fault? How are you making it women's fault for a man's behavior? G Honda, you did that same thing with Nia Long. You said Nia was Nia Long's fault. She picked a high value man. How is that? How is vetting? I want to know how you men vet. Okay, how do you men vet out these women? Here's Mr. G Honda. Hello,
What's
sir.
good? What's
Everybody
good?
here's
What's
G
good?
Honda. Yeah, we waiting on Miss Lilibet.
Man, where's she at? Where's she at? Time is money.
Cause she said she wanted some smoke. What?
Well, she need to hurry. She need to hurry up. Time is money.
We trying to figure out where's this vetting process?
Man, the vetting process is, man, you gotta do your homework, do your research, man. What she talking about? Ain't
What do
she?
you
Ain't
mean?
she? Ain't
She
she?
was
Ain't
married to that man for a
she
long
still
time.
married? She's still married, right?
Oh, I don't know whether she's still married. I don't know whether she's still married. She didn't say.
Man, she don't know what she talking about, man.
So I'm saying, give us these standards that you talking about. Thank you for the $10, Fatty. Thank you for the super chat. Give us this criteria you keep saying that women should have, be able to vet men. I just gave you mine. I gave you mine.
All right. So if you will listen to what the lovely Erica's Corner said early on in the chat,
What did they say?
integrity, honesty, integrity, honesty, and all those essential traits you're supposed to look at while you properly vetting a man.
But
Because
she did do
what?
that.
Because guess what? A lot of y'all women, y'all vet men for what gets y'all wet. And then proper
There you
honorable
go,
women.
speaking for women again.
First of all,
There
let me
go,
talk.
speaking for women again.
Let me cook.
Speaking for women again.
Let me cook. Because I mean, hey, it's like I said, it's a different.
You can't speak for women. Women got to speak for themselves. You can't speak for women.
Hey, I'm a man that loves women, so I can't speak for my man that loves all my women.
This is what you think women do.
Nah, that's what I know women do. Nah, I know what women. I know how these women operate. Nah, but you know what? I'm gonna hold my peace. I'm waiting for Libertina or whatever her name is to come on.
She said she was gonna pull up. She said she was gonna pull up, and then she had some smoke for you. Y'all hit the like button in the door. Super chats are easy. Okay, here we go.
Come on, let's go.
Hey, Lilibet, we can hear you.
Let's go.
Yo, you called me. I'm here. Ain't nobody
What's
scared
up?
of you, G Honda.
What's good?
What's good, Howard? First off, how are you?
I'm lovely. How are you?
Oh, are you lovely? Because you was going off in that chat, so let's do it.
Hey, that's what I do.
And honestly, let's do it like this. We're going to have ourselves a conversation where you hear me and I hear you. No assumptions, right?
That's all we do here.
No
That's all we do.
Right? No. That ain't all y'all do. Because
that's all we do
just
here.
inside of the chat talking about, oh, was that you or was that your sidekick?
No. Focus on me. You talking to me. No. Talk to me. Don't talk to
G Honda.
Talk to G Honda. Talk to Daddy. Talk to Daddy.
G Honda is gonna give us his. He's gonna give us his.
No. Talk to Daddy. Talk to Daddy G Honda. Daddy's home.
Did HQ all be talking to you because I don't call nobody else daddy but my daddy.
Libertino, let G Honda get his criteria out, and then you have a response to what he got to say. Go, G Honda. What was this criteria you was giving us?
Oh yeah.
All right. So if you heard, like I said before, if you heard what the lovely Erica Corner said earlier, when you properly vetting a husband and a husband is vetting a wife. Am I muffling?
No.
Okay, I kind of hear a muffle on my end, but okay, I can't see you. So if two individuals, a man and woman, are properly vetting each other, right? Like this whole thing came about with this whole coffee date issue, right? Like, it shouldn't matter when, you're properly vetting healthy qualities for one another and essential qualities that play precedent to a healthier, fruitful relationship in the long run. Not a man or a woman, not a woman that's gonna get me hard, not a woman looking for a man that's gonna get her wet, but properly vetting when I say essential qualities, integrity, honesty, forthcomingness, things of that nature.
Okay, Gianna, your mic is your mic sound funny.
Yeah, that's why I was just asking.
Yeah. So Lil Bettina, what you say?
So it's so my question to you, Jihanda. You just said all of that, but this person was my best friend. So not only was he my best friend, I was his. Where we could sit and we could talk for hours and tell each other everything on a friendship level. So do you mean to tell me that as a friend that I would end up finding out that this who we have a foundation of a friendship, that he would end up starting to lie to me because he now wanted to be like his other friends after we've gotten married? How do you vet something like that when a person gets into a whole new environment and they start to be influenced by their environment? How can you vet that this person will do that if you've only known them this certain type of way? How?
Girl, you're responsible
Hold
for
on.
who you're.
First off, I'm a woman. Let's
All
start
right.
there.
All right. Cool.
Okay. And then, like I said, for years, he and I was best friends. For years, I'm around his family. He's coming around my family. We have been nothing but friends. Then we decided we was going to date. So we dated for a few years. Then we got married. Then he went into the service. And then while he was inside the service, he started to get exposed to other types
Okay,
of
stop.
young
Let's
gentlemen.
let's stop right here. Let's stop right there.
Hold
All
on,
right. So,
no, because I'm not finished.
all right, go ahead. Go ahead.
So
Don't
after
put
he
us to
started
sleep.
having the responsibilities of a wife, and he started having the responsibilities, because after that I got pregnant, probably what, 2.5 years after we've been married. And now he's like, well, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Well, wait a minute now. What do you mean you don't know if you want to do this anymore? And he told me it's not that you're not a lovely woman. It's just a simple fact that I want to be out there with the same young guys that I see they hanging out. They're able to do this. I don't want the responsibility of coming back home to a wife. I want to be able to do what they're doing. And this is what he wholeheartedly told me. So how do you vet? And this is what he told me after the fact that he had started having sex with other women, after the fact that he had already gotten somebody else pregnant, after the fact that he done went and got a whole disease and brought it home. And then that's my whole thing. So my whole thing is, how would I have known that?
Libertina, you would have seen signs. You would have seen signs.
Signs?
Hey, hold up. We gotta have a conversation. Don't talk over me. We gotta have a conversation.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Let me talk, please. All right. So basically, you should have seen signs that you couldn't have possibly dismissed, or you just threw to the wind prior to y'all getting married. So you can't just say all of a sudden, and then not only that, you're responsible.
God.
No. Listen.
When are you gonna take responsibility for the men? Don't put it all on me.
First of all, let me talk. Let me talk.
Go ahead.
Right? So basically, So since you brought that situation into the fold, let's talk about your situation, right? All right, you said you got married, and then your husband decided that he wanted to live outside of y'all marriage, right? All right. So I'm saying to you is there had to be signs of inclination to show you that he was gaming you, that you was allowing yourself to be lied to.
Oh my God. So you mean to tell me that this person couldn't have just changed their mind? That they was wholeheartedly in love, wholeheartedly doing these things to make them to tell me.
Tigers don't train straight stripes,
baby. Hold on, wait, because I'm talking. So you mean to tell me that being my best friend, dating me, asking my father for my hand, and we had a great time. We always hung out, traveled, did a lot of things. But it's when he started to get influenced by other people that he decided that he wanted to do those things. So
That
you
you
mean
allow
to
that
tell
you allow him to
me,
hang
hold
around,
on,
so y'all allow yourself to associate with. Go ahead,
what you
go
say,
ahead.
Sweet?
You allow yourself to hang around and associate with the wrong people. Problem number one. Go ahead.
That wasn't me, that was
Go
him.
ahead. Go ahead. But that's your husband though. You're responsible for who he hang around as well as he responsible for who you associate with.
G
How can I
Honda,
stop who he
really?
works with,
Yes,
sir?
really.
He
Yes, really.
decided
Really?
Because
to
G
as a
do
man,
Honda.
okay, how can I stop who he works with? Did you not hear what now see you're not listening to
Wait a
what
minute,
I'm
G
saying.
Honda.
As a
Hold on.
man,
Hold on. You're
I'm
gonna
as a
answer
man,
my question. How can I
I'm damn
stop?
sure gonna control who
No.
my wife
How can
hangs
I
around and who my
stop?
wife associate with.
Mm,
A man
How?
with a
All right,
man's gonna
HQ, I'm
control
gonna
his
let
wife. A
you
man
take
gonna
over
control his
because
household.
he's
Period.
not
wait a minute.
listening.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold
Because
on,
he's not
everybody.
listening. Because he won't answer the question. How can I
Hold
stop who
on.
he worked with? These are people he started working with.
Right.
So
Here's what I'm saying.
how can I stop that?
That how is it that I'm responsible for your behavior? This is what you're saying. You're saying we're responsible for a man's behavior. He has no autonomy, wait a minute, hold up. Then that means I'm the leader in this community. That means y'all's ass ain't the
Yeah.
leader. That means y'all don't run jack shit or y'all can't run jack
Right.
shit. I
Because
run
how am I
everything.
supposed to teach you
But
how to be a man
wait a
and
minute,
tell
hold up.
HQ,
I'm the responsible
yeah.
party for your behavior
How can
and
I
my
HQ,
teach
behavior.
him?
That means we run
HQ.
a community.
And HQ,
Oh,
HQ,
I
you
want
know
to know this
you
question
now HQ,
too.
you know
boy,
daggone
HQ,
well you disregarding
hold on,
HQ,
G
you
Honda, because
disregarding
I want to speak to
everything.
what she just said.
no.
HQ, you
Disregard
HQ,
it.
disregarding everything.
HQ,
G
You
Honda
you
dis
just
are
said it.
no.
you
You heard what he
you
said.
disregarding. I
HQ,
said y'all
you are
responsible for who y'all associate with. Y'all responsible for who
exactly
y'all
what he's
associate with.
saying.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. We got
Y'all
Mr. Ty.
responsible for who
Hold
you
on, we got
associate
Mr.
with.
Ty. Hold
No.
on. Hold on. We got Mr. Ty. Mr. Ty, what do you say towards this? Mr. Ty, I can't hear you. No. Ty? Is this Mr. Ty? Or no? Can't hear you.
Can you hear me, HQ?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead a little bit.
So, and that's so funny you calling me a little bit.
Sorry.
So, no, but my question is just like you just said, then who's the real leader? Because I allow my husband to be the man, I allow my husband to lead, I allow my husband to do so many things. And no, it wasn't that I gained weight or from the baby weight. How is that? That is such an excuse for you men, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat too. Anywho, but how is that? How is that? Who is the real leader? Just like you said, who is the real leader?
We
If
always the
I'm the
leader.
one who
No,
has
hold
to
on.
tell him
Hold
who
on.
he can
Hold
and
on a
can't
little bit,
hang
Tina.
out with.
Hold on a little bit. Every situation that I have presented to you, G Honda, you have made it the woman's fault. As
Yeah.
though
No,
she's the one.
no,
Oh,
no,
yes,
no,
you have.
no.
Yes,
We got the scenario. We
even
got the
that Nia Long
scenario.
thing.
We got the scenario. No, no, no,
Even
no,
that
no, no.
Nia
She
Long
brought
thing.
her marriage. No, 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 no. Listen, she brought her scenario. My thing is, this is what I said. All right, you got a husband and a wife, a husband and a wife, manning a household, manning a family. He associates with who he associates. You associate with who you associate with. So if I tell you as your husband, you are my wife. So it's certain individuals I am not gonna let you hang around with. If you my wife and you hang around women that are in bad or in comparable relationships, I'm gonna demand that you dissociate from them and you not associate with them because I don't want that
And
affecting
what if
my
they don't?
marriage.
And what if they don't?
What if they don't?
But that's it. There is no more marriage. I'm not gonna
So
compromise. I'm not gonna
I'm with you on
compromise
that,
my.
G Honda. I'm gonna agree with you on that because the thing
You
was,
ain't got
I
no choice
did
but to
say
agree with me on that. You ain't
But
got
that
no
no
ain't your
because
choice.
that's your
this is
fault. That's her
no
fault, right? Or is that your
no.
fault?
But again, G Honda. So since you want to talk about that part, when I would say, sweetheart, we should hang around more married people, more goal oriented people, and we should do this, that, and a third. He will accuse me of stepping out of my place as being the wife, and he's supposed to be the leader. And he would tell me it's nothing wrong with hanging out with his friends. So, and he would tell me that I should just sit back and be okay with whoever he hung out with, as
And
long
what you
as he
say?
come
And what
home.
was your
Wait a
reply?
minute, you're not listening. As long as he paid all the bills and as long as he was coming home, he felt like at that time that he should have been able to do what he wanted to do.
Okay. Can HQ?
Yeah.
My reply to that gonna be if it's any married wives in the chat, please step on the live right now. If it's any married women on the live
Wives.
right now, step
Why?
on up right
No,
now,
why don't
please.
you just answer the question? Because we're asking you about men and you taking accountability of saying things that men have gone or did wrong. The question was, how do you properly vet?
Right.
And so that's the question. So my question is to come on here and to do the things that to go ahead and be and expose the things that I have gone through with my marriage, my first marriage. I would say that because I'm no longer married to him anymore. Thank God. However, what is it that I should have done even more? Besides getting to know the family, besides being his friends for years, besides us having and enjoying ourselves. And please, whoever this big ball person was, I kept myself up and looking good. So don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, we got Ty. Ty, what is your
Here goes
contribution?
Ty. Hi, Ty.
Hello. How
What should
long?
you say?
I got a couple points. I'm gonna be quick though. How long before y'all went from best friends to married, from married to him switching up? Like, what was the time?
I'm going to say
How
that
long?
was a full 7 to 8 years.
So y'all was married 7, 8 years,
No, we was married for 3 years.
and then he chose or you chose to get a divorce.
His phone broke up. What did he say?
He said you chose to get a divorce or he did?
Oh, you talking about until we got a divorce 13 and a half years later.
Okay,
He
but
talking about the first, when he first stepped out. When he first stepped out was within the first 3 years of our marriage. When I was pregnant and he was starting to feel the brunt of being a husband, and now he was about to be a father. And he told me after he hadn't done the things that he did, because he was hanging around with these friends, and these friends, they were like, oh, I like being single. And he was like, well, he wanted to do and be single the way that they were.
HQ, can I say something right quick?
Yeah, go.
Okay, Libertina, my only point to that is prior to you getting to know your husband, there's all right, and anybody getting a man knowing of his spouse, his wife getting ready to know him. When you are properly vetting, these are red flags and things you're gonna see prior to any engagement. It's always gonna be things, it's always gonna be telltale signs. So we can't disregard on either side or make an excuse for you not knowing this person was bull jiving or was. But sometimes it's that a lot of us are not savvy enough or doesn't have the mental capacity enough. And not saying you do or you don't. I don't know you like that, but some of us can't see those red flags, but that don't excuse you from not knowing better.
Okay, so again, it's all on me, or was it him?
It's on both sides. It's on both of y'all.
No, it wasn't really.
Let me
Because
get
my whole thing
it's on both of y'all.
Y'all check your mics.
Check your mics. Let me get in here real quick.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No, not you. I'm talking about check your mics. Your mics are weird. Sound weird.
Mine still acting up?
Yeah, a little bit.
It
Just
might
a little
be my
bit.
AirPods. You ain't see no signs of him being a flip-flopper or not being ready to be a husband before y'all got married?
You know what? And I did not. Now I will say that we was young. I will say that we was young. But however, he's a little bit older than me. So, but still, he and I was young when we got married. Now we in our 40s, well into our 40s now. But this was our early 20s. So my whole thing is, no, he never, because he would tell me, and I would tell you like this, he would tell me how he didn't like when his dad did that to his mother. So he would not do that to me. He said how he did not like how his dad walked
That's
away
called
from the
game,
family.
baby.
You said what?
That's called game.
So we ain't supposed to believe nothing nobody say.
Hold on.
But here's the thing. You're talking to a man. You're talking to a man. I'm giving you a man's perspective.
This was, like I said, our friendship. And the thing was, our friendship wasn't about him gaming me or doing anything. Here we
That's
used to play
game.
basketball with each other. We used to go out and just hang out. We was nothing like into each other like that. And I saw how he treated other people. I saw how he treated his sisters, his family. I saw how he treated even people who he might have saw that was less than. But my question to you is, how was I supposed to know that later on down the line that he will change his mind and want to develop into a person that he had never been before? Because he was a person. Hold on, wait. I'm still talking because he was a person who swore up and down. He was a person who swore up and down that he would never be a man like that. He always used to say he didn't really like that kind of stuff.
Jesus Christ.
But that's my thing. How was I supposed to know as a best friend when I'm not even in a relationship? And then when we get into a relationship, he's all about me, loving me, doing these kind of things. And then what? Afterwards, what happened? He gets around, we move to a whole nother state. He gets around more people. And then he starts to be like, okay, well, I think I want to do this. So that's my thing. He changed who he became, who he told me, and who he presented to my family, who he presented to all of our friends. He changed who he was.
And as an adult, you will have the wherewithal to make your demands based on your conditions. Bam.
Okay.
Hey, I appreciate it, HQ. Hey, I gotta get out of here. I got somewhere I gotta be. Appreciate y'all. Peace, love y'all. Libertina, no hard feelings, baby. Love you. Best wishes.
We gonna windmill in the comments later, but talk to you later, Honda.
But in Ty Pro,
I would say you had to have seen some signs of red flags going into that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I didn't.
if he was your friend that long, a man ain't gonna just change
I
their
don't
whole.
think that's the case.
See, and now that's not true. A man
change their whole personality because they around some other dudes.
She's not saying
type.
She's not.
Like,
she's not saying
groups and
she didn't do anything. Ty, she's not saying that she didn't do anything. That there was no that anything happened or she didn't do anything. She's not saying that. What she's saying is his behavior is his problem. His behavior is his doing. She didn't know that behavior would come up. There's no way to predict people going out of the ordinary. If you going in a straight line for 3 years, for 5 years, when you go into a zigzag, how am I supposed to know you going into a zigzag? There's no way for me to know you're going into a zigzag.
G-Honda, stop it.
G-Honda,
stop it with I ignored all the red flags. You gonna get in the comments and start to hide. You was just on here. You could have said all that.
Men don't usually change, and sometimes women be blinded by what the positives that they see. So it's like, okay.
So was his mother blinded when she couldn't understand how he had changed? Was his sisters blinded? Like, everybody who grew up with him and who knew him didn't know this person who he had became. So was everybody blinded, or was he just a good liar?
Right.
I don't know. It might be more to the story then, because that's a character type. Dudes that could just switch up like that in their life, period.
And you know what? And that is the very truth, that it end up coming down to character. But the thing is, how was I supposed to know? When y'all say vet somebody, he seemed as if he was a husband. And see, he's talking about victim blaming, and yet he was a great liar. Wow, Honda is a real Honda is a
I told you he
weirdo.
on one for real.
Honda is a weirdo. Because why would you get out? Why couldn't you say that while you was on here, weirdo?
I
Like
told you.
seriously,
You ain't
We
got
want-
to.
we
Don't
he
want-
really
likes to
get to
hide in
shaming
the
and talking
comments.
junk.
He is so that is weird. Wow.
We want to hear from these
'Cause you
red
was trying to
pill
talk
men.
junk about
I
me.
want to hear from the red pill men on Friday
Yes.
because you guys seem to have the script that's supposed to be
He's talking about
successful.
I wasn't listening.
So I want to see some successful men
Right.
who follow this red pill nonsense that G
All of
Honda
them
keep
single.
doing.
All
It's
of
not
them
even
single.
so much as first of all, it ain't so much as being red pill. It's about observing women.
No,
And I observe women off of my personal experiences. I don't really go off of internet
so you've had a
and
lot
all
of
of that.
experiences. You trying to
So
tell us you have a lot of experience?
you
And I
was
am
the
single,
one,
but I'm
Ty.
single because
Yes.
it's me.
So
It's
my
me.
question, Ty, to you with
Somebody never
all
left
your
my
different
porch.
experiences is, and you said that you're the truck driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yep. You better think a truck driver.
So how do
but
you?
no,
So
wait, because this is the funny thing. Because now that same husband who I told you about,
Mhm.
even though he's remarried, he's a truck driver, and he still has a woman in every different city now. So
Mm.
he's not giving you all the best of the truck driver. So that's
I
my
mean,
question.
all right, so for one, dog don't know what he wanted to do. Maybe he was just somebody that ain't know who he was as he was growing up and he was doing life decisions before he knew what he wanted to do. Maybe he ain't really
I
want to be
think
a husband.
so. I
And it
can
be
agree
like
with you
that.
on
Maybe it
that.
took him a while to find his identity. But
Yes.
my
And you
point to
know
that
what,
would
Ty?
be, hold
Now,
on.
you know what, Ty? I don't think he still has found it because
But that is not your problem no more. But to my
you
point
right.
is a guy who don't got his identity, you
Mhm.
gonna see that. And you might not have seen it then, but if you take some reflection, you probably can pinpoint a lot of times throughout your progression, especially since
Mhm.
you know him so long. Like, you know
Right.
what? He really didn't know who the fuck he was. And that be the difference. As far as a
And
truck
I forgive
driver,
him for that. Yep.
being a
And I'll
truck
forgive
driver,
him for
yeah,
that.
when I was on the road, I was single when I was on the road. So yeah, I would I would have places that I'd be a little longer. So I would have some female company in those states. I would be in Texas 3 days out the week. So I definitely had dates and all of that going
Yeah.
on, but that just come with it.
So what kind of success? The question is,
what
what
kind
kind
of
of
success.
success are we having? What kind of success are we having with this red pill logic? Are we having successes with that?
I
Because
think
sex
is
ain't
very
success.
success. I mean, it depends on what you. Yeah, I'm single, so I'm not married, but I have success with knowing what women like. I'm not gonna
No,
be
no, no,
out
no, no,
here.
no, no. This is what I mean by success. What I mean by success is you've had you. I can only assume you're around early 30s,
Yeah, I'm
late 20, early
34.
30s. Okay,
34.
so around that. So I'm assuming when you get to talking about success, I'm talking about somebody who's been in a relationship longer than 5 years. Not right now,
Hmm.
but you have been in a relationship somewhere along the line at least 5 years. Because if you haven't been in a relationship at least 5 years, then you're just talking points.
Yeah, I definitely have. I got children. I've been in long term relationships, and I've
Okay.
been in a lot of situationships. I've been
Wait a
in a
minute. You
lot
have
of
children.
Yeah.
How is
So
that
why haven't
success
it been
though?
successful though?
Yeah, how
You
is that
said
success? Like, do you have you say you
Yeah.
have children? Do you have children with just one woman or two or three?
I'm 2 for 2.
So how is that success? That's
Success.
two broken homes.
Shit. It's more so you got to learn. You live and
No,
you
that's
learn.
not that's
No, no,
not
no, no,
considered
no. We asked you a
successful.
question. What made it successful?
Right.
Because how is it that you didn't see a wife and woman number one or even woman number two? Like, how is it successful?
Yeah, I was like 20 when I had my kids, so I didn't really know what I was out here wanting. I was just
Mm-hmm.
doing shit. That ain't successful. I wouldn't call that successful at all. But I have my success with women and not falling for.
No, we're not talking about sex because I
Okay.
can have
So what you
sex
talking about?
tonight. We're talking about relations. Anybody can have sex. All people can have sex. We're talking about interacting with a person on a basis, having intimacy with another human being, caring about another human being, concerning yourself about their welfare. That's not marriage. That's not what we call success. We're talking about a successful long-term
Relationship.
relationship where you've been in it like 5 years and you understand the nuances of a relationship, not hookups, because hookups are different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I had successful relationships with my children mothers, but it just wasn't something that
Long
I didn't
term.
see a wife with them. Yeah.
So why did
Yeah,
you
but
mate with them? Why did you have sex with someone you didn't see them as a wife?
I'm I'm a grown man. I'm gonna have sex with the cheeks. That's not
Oh,
really, but
wait a
men and
minute.
women
So
is
now we
different.
get down to it because see now the
right.
thing is y'all be acting like it's so acceptable for you men to have sex with someone, but who are you having sex with? You're
But
having
men and
sex
women
with
are two different
a woman.
creatures.
No, no, no. Don't do that.
No, don't do
Don't do
that.
that.
That's
Don't
the
do that.
truth.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. So if it's the truth, then why do y'all look so down on a woman for being a creature as well?
What?
What do you mean by what? We're
What do you
human too.
mean?
We're human too.
Right.
So why is it so
So you
different
think women
that
should
you could
have
go
sex as
ahead?
much as men should
No,
have
no,
sex?
no. I need you
That
to
ain't what we
answer the
said.
question.
I'm asking for more
Why?
clarity.
No,
You
you
think
don't
that
get an
women
answer
supposed to?
question because I have asked you a question.
What did
Answer
you
my
ask me? What was your
question
question again,
first.
love?
My
What was your
question
question?
is why is it so different for you to be able to have sex with two or three women and it's
Hmm.
so wrong for her to have sex? Where is the logic that she can't do what you're doing when you're having sex with two or three different women? Why can't she say, well, I've had sex with two or three different men? What is the problem?
Are you are you just saying like this? Like you asking me on like her body count or how many women men she's sleeping with
I
during
literally
the
just
week?
asked you the question just like you just said. You said I'm a grown man. I am a creature
Yeah,
and
because
I'm
I don't
able to
think
do
that
this.
women should
So
have
I'm
sex at the
so
same rate as men should have sex.
whoa. So
No,
wait a minute. So
wait.
wait a minute. You don't agree that women should have sex at the same rate of men.
With different
However,
partners.
who are the men having sex with?
Right.
Not different. I don't think women should have as many sex partners as men have. That's
So
just
why? Why?
I mean, you can do what you want to do,
Well,
but
my
then that
question
goes
is,
back to the
how would you
80%.
know? But how
How would
would
you
you know?
know?
How would you
You
know?
get if you if that's where the vetting process come in. Once you
That's with a
talk to a
vetting.
woman and you get to know her, you know if
No,
she's
not
you
unless
No,
she tells you.
because
nah.
right,
I
Unless
never
she
unless
because
she
tells
tells
you.
you.
I never asked them type of questions, and I still know. So it's not about telling; it's about talking.
Okay,
You tell the
what are
energy
some
and the
signs
attitude.
that let you know? What
Wow.
are some signs that let you know that she has more than one part?
HQ
What's
already told you if her lash is super long.
Wait a
what?
minute. Wait a
No,
minute.
I'm just joking.
Repeat the
Hell no.
question.
No, he didn't say that.
No, it's certain ways that women carry themselves that you know
That
deal with a
what?
lot different men.
Really? So,
Uh,
okay. I want
How?
to know
I want
this.
to know.
I
I'm
want to
curious.
know this.
I mean,
How
How
does
does she
she
carry
glare out
herself?
and she let the how does she let the environment know she had 3, 4, 10 lovers? How she do
Yeah.
that?
How
How
does
she
she?
do that? The only way she would do that is if she told you.
Yeah, if she's wearing a sign. But no, I want to know from Ty. Like, honestly, Ty, how would you know that this woman who
Hmm.
is sitting, okay, Ty, me, how would you know if I've been with a whole bunch of men?
it'll come from talking to you and getting to know you and actually
Really? But
seeing your how
what kind of conversation can you really have with me to know if I've been with a lot of men? I'm going to be 45 in a few days. How
Hmm.
would you know?
Right.
Is it because of my age?
No, it's about mannerisms. You said you about to be 45. I wouldn't know until I got to know you, and I
But I'm
got to know
saying
your habits.
mannerisms.
So
Got
my
What
to know
mannerisms?
mannerisms
how
from
you
what
are
you
with
have
your
known of me tonight.
how you are on social media, how you are on your phone,
No,
how
no, that
you.
can't. That doesn't tell you
Wow.
that. That doesn't tell you that. That doesn't
So
tell you that. I can be on there with bikinis all day long. That doesn't mean
That
that I
doesn't
have
mean
a
I'm gonna be
thousand lovers.
sex. Right.
That
So
doesn't
let
mean
me ask you
anything
a
though.
question then. Okay, so if there's a person in ministry, if this person is in ministry, would you say, oh, okay, well, no, they ain't been with a lot of people?
Mhm.
Would you
no, I
say that?
wouldn't assume that. That'd be an assumption. I'm not gonna assume
Wait a
nothing
minute now, but
because
you just assumed that if she got long lashes, that she has been with a lot of men. So do
Mm,
tell, where does your assumption stop or start?
if
mm.
she a bartender and a stripper, yeah, I'm gonna assume she doing a lot of stuff. If
Yeah,
she
but
Why
in the
why are
would
you
you
man,
do that?
talking to? But
Oh,
why
wait,
would you
wait, wait.
even?
Wait,
Why would
so
because
you?
I
you
be in the
wouldn't
strip
assume that
clubs
a
and
bartender
I
is having
meet.
a lot of sex, but would you assume that a woman minister is having a lot of sex?
It'd take a little more getting to know her to see because she might be a virgin or she might not be.
The
That is
minister or the bartender? Because I'm gonna tell you, the bartender is a whole lot more likely to be the virgin than the minister.
why would
Mm.
you say that?
Because I'm a minister, so I know them. I know them
Well, I be at
behind
the
closed
bar and
doors.
I be in the strip clubs and I know them and they definitely
You
not
be in a
virgins.
bar and the strip clubs, and you're
I
telling
have been.
me,
I
"Hey,
haven't
Wow.
well,
been in a
hold on, hold
bar.
on, hold on, hold on, hold
You
on.
got a
You
lot of
are the one
information.
who said in the chat that 80% of the women are whores, and
Yeah.
yet and still, you just said you hang out in bars and strip clubs.
How would I know about the 80%?
You,
Ty, Ty, but this is exactly what I was talking about in the chat when I said that you haven't been outside of your neighborhood. Not just outside of
That's
your neighborhood, not physically, but you like going to a strip club and bars. You haven't really, have you hung out at golf courses?
so how is he looking
I
for a
hung out
wife?
at.
How was you looking for a wife and you hang out in strip cars, and clubs, and bars?
Right.
I
Of
don't
course,
just
that's
be in
your
a bar. Y'all
world.
taking that and running with it. I
You
be
led
in
with that. You
You
bars,
literally
led with
cigar.
that.
I
admitted it.
didn't lead with that. I'm just telling you that's. She said she know ministries, and I said I know bartenders and strippers. I
Okay.
be in the. I don't golf, so no, I don't be at the golf
So
club, but
where
I
do you
do
go?
go to cigar lounges. I go to
Mhm.
places in Detroit where they creating. Come on, man,
Detroit.
content and don't say that like that. Chill
So
out
I
in
where do
my
you go?
city.
will.
Chill out. Where are you from?
I'm from the great state of Florida.
Oh
Mm.
Okay.
no, it's terrible.
Yeah, no.
Terrible.
You could say that. You could
But
say
no,
that. But
I
it's
hang
still a
out.
great
I
state.
hang out in professional settings, and I also hang out in different settings. It just depends
So
on.
these places you go to find a wife.
Right.
No, I didn't say that. I've never gone to a bar to find a wife.
So
Never.
where do you go to find a wife then?
The grocery store, the library, maybe somewhere in a more professional setting.
So you
And
don't
you
think those
Uh,
women outside of the club have ever gone to a grocery store or a library?
mm.
then it comes into vetting and seeing how they are. That's what I'm saying. If you get to know a woman, you gonna get to know a lot more than she telling you. And 9 times out of 10, a woman gonna tell you everything you need to know voluntarily. You don't
So
have to
so when
ask
you
her, "Hey,
talking
how
to a
many people
woman?
did you have sex with this year?"
So Ty, when you
You
talking
gonna
to a
know.
woman, I got a question.
Mhm.
When you're talking to a woman and you're looking for a woman, just in case you were looking for a woman, how would you rule her out? What would she say that would rule her out?
Yeah. Especially if you are attracted to her. What would she
Right.
say?
What would she need to say? To say, oh, hell no, I can't take her. What would she need to do and say? Seeing as how you couldn't find her body count out on the first day, so that couldn't be what ruled her out. What would rule her out for the second and the third date?
Uh, Probably phone being on do not disturb all the time. If she's quick to get freaky, sexual, quick. That's gonna rule them out. I mean, it just depends on what I'm looking for out of that woman. If I'm looking for something serious, I don't go looking for a wife. I go meeting women, and I let them tell me who they are. So if not giving me things that I feel like I can take seriously, I just don't.
So a woman who has her phone off,
All day, yeah, that's a red flag.
But okay, so I do funerals.
how would you know
I
that?
do up to 7 to 9 funerals a day. You mean it? And I do not keep my phone on. I can't. So that would be a red flag, or is that excusable?
Uh, you saying while you at work,
Yeah.
your phone on do not disturb?
I cannot even look at my phone because I have 7 to 9 funerals a day.
So I said specifically phone being on do not disturb all
It
day.
is. So that's my
So
thing. It's
when
on do not disturb. I
if
cannot
me and
text
you were
you.
talking and you at work, I don't really check my phone when I'm at work. I'm driving all the time while I'm working. I might
Okay.
not answer it or not. But
Okay.
if you get off of work, your phone on do not disturb. If we hang out Saturday night and your phone on do not disturb, that's a red flag. That's all I'm saying. And it's a compilation with uh other things that go with that. You know what I'm saying? You being 45 and working far as a 25-year-old is gonna be a different dynamic. It just all depends on the woman. I gotta take a whole list of everything I'm getting from her, the conversations we having. When we on the phone getting to know each other, she gonna start volunteering her past. She gonna start volunteering what she been through with her last dude. She gonna say things, and it's just all being noted, all being noted,
Are
being
you
calculated.
offering up your past? Are you saying are you telling her your body count too?
It don't. The It's never a body count conversation. That's corny. I'm not gonna be like how many men you had sex with, and I don't expect to get asked that. That's corny.
So your
But
assumptions
I'ma
is what
always fall back on men pros being men move differently than women. And that's how it should be.
no, see,
It's
that's the excuse.
That's not an excuse.
The
That is
That's
an
just
excuse.
real life,
excuse.
especially if you vetting for a wife. If she want to be in the 80% and she a 304, that's fine. I'm not judging her, but I'm not gonna marry her. But that's a different. She's
Wait, so have
moving
you had
differently
sex
than.
with her already? Because you're talking about men move differently than women. So are you having sex with her and saying, okay, well, I don't want to do it? Or are you holding yourself out until you see that she's a wife material and then
Right.
have sex with her?
Or you just wading in saying, oh, okay, I'm gonna see if I sleep with her. And if I sleep with her, then I know she ain't no good. Is that what you're doing?
If she throw it, I'ma catch it.
Oh, your mic. You ain't got no earphones or
I got
earplugs,
my
Ty?
AirPods in, but I think I dropped them too many times at work. And I gotta get back to what I'm doing. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a different
No, we're not
dynamic.
saying women don't get judged like men. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you're looking at the 80% and you're ignoring the 20% while complaining about the 80% when you
I ain't
shouldn't even be
complaining.
looking at the 80%.
I ain't complaining. I just call it how I see it. And I was
That-
speaking
And,
more
and
with the
I already
married.
broke down and I already said there's no way that 80% of us can be whores with that small 20% having all of those other things that are in it. There's no way for it just to be 80% of us. It can't work. That 80% don't work. So that means whatever you're vetting, you're walking up to her and saying, oh, she got her phone off. I ain't dealing with her. She at 304. Well, walking up to her and say, oh, she got on lashes. She got on makeup. Or she got on tight clothes. Oh, she at 304. I ain't going to talk to her. Your standards are fucked up or something to that effect. I can't tell, but That
What
makes
are you
sense.
attracted to, Ty? If you don't like a woman to have spruced herself up, what are you attracted to?
I don't think makeup and weave and lashes is sprucing up, but I'm attracted to women.
That
I
don't
don't
No.
I don't hold like a super magnifying glass to women like, oh, you in this bubble, I'm not talking to you. But I definitely judge and vet accordingly, and I see particular habits in certain type of women who carry themselves in particular type of ways.
Mhm.
I I I don't want to make it seem like I'm just canceling a woman out if she got a wig on, but that's not what I prefer. No, but it's more to it. Like I said, when it comes to vetting, it's about you got to take your time. You got to have them conversations. You got to get to know that person. And a lot of times, women, a lot of people right now, not just women, are in the hookup culture. I was a
You
part of that
you
for a
led
while
with
myself.
you led with I go to strip clubs and
I did
bars.
not lead with that. That was, and I haven't been in a strip club probably since COVID. That is, but I've been there and I've been around them. And I got, homegirls that strippers and bartenders. I hear
Mhm.
stories. I be in the mix. I got people that, be in the
And
mix.
and you can't say what a long-term relationship looks like because you haven't really been in one.
I've been
Uh,
in a few
but you haven't been in a successful one though, because you still have
because I
had.
haven't gotten married. Yeah, that's real. I said that was what I led with. I led with I'm not married. So, I can't speak on being a husband or I found a wife and this is what I found in my wife. Nah, but I can only speak for what I think a wife would look like to me. And more than anything, I can speak for what I know a wife ain't. And that comes from just experience and dealing with women and talking to women. I know
Mhm.
what I'm not going to accept from a woman to marry her. And, more power to people who find out the hard way. It be like that sometimes.
Mm.
I like you, Ty. You're a cool
Alright.
person.
Well, thank you, Ty.
You have
Thank
a
you for
lot
coming up on this.
of.
Thank you for coming up on the
For
panel.
sure. I'm out of
Let us
here.
beat you up for a minute.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you, HQ, for the
With that
opportunity.
crazy Mike. Thank you for coming up here, Libitina. I keep saying that.
Yes.
I like that word little bit, but that's okay.
Yes.
And thank you
It's
for coming up too.
Libitina.
Thank y'all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I
All
will
right,
let y'all
honey.
down. Yes, Ty.
And just tell G Honda to set on down somewhere. Just set
He
on.
be saying some wild. He be saying some
He
wild
is.
stuff.
And he only hides behind his keyboard. But okay then.
All right.
Later.
Bye. hon.
Good.
Bye. hon. Well, that's where we having it. That's where it is. We still have that whore Madonna complex. She's either a whore or she's a Madonna. We can't never bridge that gap, us women, even though there's a whole big divide between the whore and the Madonna. And we all are variations in between. Okay? Because I'm not a whore and I'm not a Madonna. I fall into the middle like most women. Most women who deal with modernized relationships, hookups, all of those things. Thank you, JMC. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, y'all hit the like button. Y'all coming in, hit the like button, please. That gets it out to the algorithm. I thank you. I'd appreciate some super chats. I'd appreciate a cash app, whatever you can do for the cause or for the program. So I thank you all. This is all for all the bananas, HQ. You damn right. And thank you for coming up, G Honda. You know I love your conversation, but you wild. This Friday, we're going to have a conversation about Kevin Samuels and the women who hated Kevin Samuels. Not the women who liked Kevin Samuels, the women who hated Kevin Samuels. That's what I'd like to talk about. Who knows anything about what those women said and did and why they couldn't stand them some Kevin Samuels. But that's Friday. I thank you all for coming. Thank you. Hell, I appreciate every person that shows up. Believe me, I do. Thank you, but I got to go, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you.